Praise the Lord! Hey everyone, it's your good friend Andrew back on the Conservanerd YouTube channel. This is the channel where we love God, we love our country, and we love all things nerd. And in case you haven't heard, Kathleen Kennedy is finally out as the head of Lucasfilm.
Let the joyous news be spread, the wicked old witch at last is dead.
So it was officially announced a few days ago that Kathleen Kennedy is finally stepping down as the president of Lucasfilm. And along with that announcement, it was revealed that Kathleen Kennedy is not simply just being replaced, but Lucasfilm is taking a page out of DC's playbook and replacing her with two co-presidents. The first of the two co-presidents will be Dave Filoni, who was the previous executive vice president and chief creative officer at Lucasfilm, and is now just going to be the president and chief creative officer. Filoni is most famous for his animated work on shows like The Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Bad Batch. He's also the writer and director behind the live-action Ahsoka series on Disney+. Not only that, he's actually the creator of the Ahsoka character. The second co-president will be Lin Brennan, who was previously the president and general manager of Lucasfilm Business. Here's a quick look at her job description that comes directly from Lucasfilm.com's leadership page. As co-president of Lucasfilm, Lin Brennan oversees all divisions including Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, and Skywalker Sound. She is responsible for the development and execution of Lucasfilm's business strategy and implementation of the company vision. Lin oversees the Lucasfilm franchise groups including marketing and integrated planning, games, publishing and consumer products, publicity, asset management, and content strategy. She also looks after Lucasfilm studio operations including human resources, finance, and legal. So the plan here appears to be that Dave Filoni is going to be handling all of the creative aspects of the job, while Lin Brennan takes over all of the business aspects of the job. Very similar to the James Gunn and Peter Safran relationship over at DC and Warner Brothers. Now, what do I think about all this? Well, you probably think that I'm going to be extremely excited about this, right? I mean, after all, I have been counting down the days, waiting for this announcement to finally come. Kathleen Kennedy has been, without a doubt, a disastrous president of Lucasfilm. She became president back in October of 2012. It's now 2026. This October would have been her 14-year anniversary with the company. How she managed to stay in this role for this long with her track record is beyond me. Let's take a look back at the last 14 years of Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership. I'm going to round up to 14 years because technically The Mandalorian and Grogu is a film that was made under her leadership, so I'm going to include that one too, even though it hasn't come out yet. The Star Wars movies that have been released in theaters under Kathleen Kennedy are as follows: The Force Awakens in 2015, Rogue One in 2016, The Last Jedi in 2017, Solo in 2018, and of course, The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. Did you guys notice something? We haven't gotten a Star Wars movie in theaters since December of 2019. Now, finally, we're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu in May of this year, but seriously, let's be honest, it's just going to be season 4 of the TV show. That's not me saying that the movie's going to be bad. I'm just not overly excited for it, especially considering how bad Season 3 was. Speaking of Disney Plus shows, here's a list of non-animated Star Wars shows that have dropped on Disney Plus under Kennedy. The Mandalorian Seasons 1 through 3, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor Seasons 1 and 2, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew. I'm not going to do a full in-depth review of each one of these shows, but I will say this much. The Mandalorian Seasons 1 and 2 were great, and I loved them, but Season 3 I thought was pretty much total trash. You could have seriously taken the most interesting content that was in that season and crammed it all into one 1-hour episode. That's how useless Season 3 of The Mandalorian was. The Book of Boba Fett was just totally trash. How is it that you could possibly take one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars and make him the most boring character in his own show? They seriously had to bring The Mandalorian into Boba Fett's show just to make it cool. Obi-Wan Kenobi was okay. The final fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader was great, but overall, the series was wasted potential. Andor Seasons 1 and 2, I have actually not watched yet. I've heard it's great, so I really want to sit down and watch it, so I'm going to reserve judgment for right now. Ahsoka had its moments, but overall, I didn't think it was very good. The Acolyte, oh man, was one of the most horrendous pieces of garbage that I have ever forced myself to watch. It was terrible. And finally, Skeleton Crew. I've started watching this show. What little I've seen of it so far is actually pretty good, so I'm excited to finish watching it. So again, I'm going to reserve judgment until I watch the whole show. 4 out of these 7 shows were mediocre at their best and complete dumpster fire at their worst. That, coupled with the poorly received sequel trilogy, and we are left with a very lackluster Star Wars universe. Now, maybe you had a different experience with Star Wars as of late. I'm just letting you know my opinions and my experiences with Star Wars over the last few years. With all of that said, it is a fantastic thing that Kathleen Kennedy, with her ridiculous "the Force is female" nonsense, is finally on her way out. Now, what do I think about Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan specifically? For starters, I do like the separation of powers, so to speak. Dave Filoni is a Star Wars fan to his core, and I think he at least respects the property and he wants to see it be successful. I just hope that his apparent obsession with the Ahsoka character and the Clone Wars era doesn't cloud his creativity. The only thing that's really holding me back from being really excited for his leadership is his lack of live-action film experience. Most of his time at Lucasfilm has been spent working on animation. Don't get me wrong, his animated stuff is really good, but live action and animation are completely different forms of media. Now, he does have a little bit of experience with live-action television. According to IMDb, he's directed 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and 1 episode of the Book of Boba Fett. That's it, guys. What I am most excited for with respect to Dave Filoni is his story writing ability. If he can give us some great Star Wars stories, but allow some more experienced directors and filmmakers handle all of the live-action production, I think the future of Star Wars looks pretty bright. Now, as for Lin-Wen Brennan, take a look at this quick excerpt from an article published in the New York Times back in 2017 that focused on Miss Brennan's activities at the time. Miss Brennan is on a self-described crusade to remedy the entrenched gender inequality of her industry. To accomplish this, she and her team have carefully assessed how promotions are handled, asking why male candidates may be advanced over their female colleagues. To broaden its reach, Industrial Light and Magic is hiring employees from a variety of different backgrounds while eliminating experience and education requirements for entry-level positions. If this article is to be believed, then Lin-Wen Brennan might as well just be a carbon copy of Kathleen Kennedy herself. All of this DEI nonsense that was mentioned in the article is part of the reason that Star Wars is in the slump that it's in right now. As long as this type of person is in the driver's seat, the priority will not be quality of content. No, the priority will be, as it has been since 2012, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The priority is going to be fighting the patriarchy and pushing some kind of crazy left-wing feminist agenda. The only shining light in this for me is that Dave Filoni is in charge of the creative side of the job. But if you caught it back when I read Lin-Wen Brennan's job description just a little bit ago, it said that she's in charge of human resources, the branch of the company that oversees hiring and firing. This means that she could have the full authority to hire only writers and directors that agree with her politically. I'm not saying that that's what she would do. I'm just saying that if she wanted to do that, there wouldn't be anything standing in her way. Now, don't misread me. More women in Star Wars is not the problem, and it never has been. Princess Leia was not a problem. Padme Amidala was not a problem. Jen Erso, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Hera Syndulla, Asajj Ventress, and yes, even Rey. None of these characters were inherently a problem. The problem, hear me now, is and has been the attitudes and storytelling priorities of the creators. Rey is a bad character, not because she's a woman, but because Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams wrote her story poorly. The Acolyte is a complete garbage show, not because the lead characters are female, but because the creator, Leslie Headland, is a left-wing nutjob who was so focused on writing a story about lesbian space witches that she forgot to write an actual compelling narrative with interesting and intelligent characters. At the end of the day, Kathleen Kennedy being out at Lucasfilm is a good thing, and it is long overdue. But even though she's gone, she handpicked Dave Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brennan to replace her. And that makes me a little bit nervous. Because let's be honest, all of these Hollywood California liberals are all the same. So I'm not going to expect anything different from Star Wars just yet. I'm going to hold off on being excited for new Star Wars content just for a little while until I see a few consecutive movies and TV shows that aren't total trash or full of left-wing propaganda. I'm definitely going to give Filoni and Brennan a chance though. But they would be smart to realize that Star Wars has been in a slump for quite a while now, and it is in need of a serious course correction. And with their newly found authority, they would have the ability and power to make that correction happen. Anyway, guys, it's time to let me know what you think about this whole thing. Are you excited that Kathleen Kennedy is finally gone? What new Star Wars films would you like to see go into production under Filoni and Brennan? Let me know in the comment section down below, and also hit that like button and subscribe. It's totally free, and it really helps out the channel. Thanks a lot, guys. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks again so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and remember, keep gaming and keep praying.